commentary, entertainment, sports, news, and opinion now. Here is Steve Malzberg.
You know, part of the reason I was so adamant about including women and girls in our foreign policy, not as a luxury, but as a central issue, is because they're often the canaries in the mine. You watch women and girls being deprived of their rights. Some of them never have them. Some of them lose them. And among those rights is control over their bodies, control over their own health care, control over the size of their families. And it is a disturbing trend that you see in a lot of societies that are very unstable, anti-democratic, and frankly, prone to extremism.
All right, folks, that's Hillary Clinton reacting to the Hobby Lobby case. And while we're efforting Father Robert Sirico, let me weigh in on that. That's perhaps, even though it was presented in a very tempered fashion, didn't seem to be overreactionary, was very low-keyed and very consistent in her tone. She wasn't screaming and yelling. I think that's the most radical reaction I have heard yet. I mean, I've heard, from those on the left, especially it seems to be they're putting the women out there, the Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the president of NOW, and others who are claiming that women are now being denied health care and it's a women's body and, this and that. But for Hillary to go to other countries, to bring other countries in there, because she was Secretary of State, and that's why I don't even know what she means by she tried to, to bring women and girls. I don't even know what she's trying to mean. But in other words, this country is repressive towards women and girls? That's what Hillary Clinton is claiming? If we could replay that one, I want to replay that cut. And I want you to listen to the former Secretary of State, the woman who would be President of the United States, playing the gender card here in an outrageous fashion. I don't care how calm she is. I don't care how matter-of-fact she seems. I don't care how well thought out her answer seems. Listen to the radical thing she's saying here about the United States of America. Why? Because the Supreme Court of the United States narrowly ruled that religious freedom trumps the right of women who work in a certain company to be able to get every abortion pill they want covered by the company who have religious objections. Rather than trumpeting the religious freedom of the United States of America, which I never expected her to do here, she turns it around on its head and puts us in a class, in a category with countries that repress women and worse than just repress women. I want you to listen carefully to what, again, it's important, the former Secretary of State of the United States of America said about that ruling yesterday. Listen.
You know, part of the reason I was so adamant about including women and girls in our foreign policy, not as a luxury, but as a central issue, is because they're often the canaries in the mine. You watch women and girls being deprived of their rights. Some of them never have them. Some of them lose them. And among those rights is control over their bodies, control over their own health care, control over the size of their families. And it is a disturbing trend that you see in a lot of societies that are very unstable, anti-democratic, and frankly, prone to extremism.
Here we go. All right. So this country is now anti-democratic and prone to extremism against women, according to Hillary Clinton. That is the single most radical reaction I have heard from the left out of all the ones I've heard. Joining us now is Father Robert Sirico. He's Roman Catholic priest and founder of the Acton Institute for the Study of Religion and Liberty. And Father, welcome to the show, sir.
Good to be with you. It's the Acton Institute, Lord Acton.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. It is the Acton Institute. My error.
To corrupt.
No, my error. All right. I don't know how much you heard of Hillary's reaction, but regardless if you did or not, the left is out there and they're claiming that this is a continuation, this decision yesterday by the Supreme Court of a war on women. Rather than trumpeting what this decision means for religious freedom and liberty, they're taking the other side of this, and a side that doesn't even really exist in my view. What's your read of this?
Well, I concur with you. It's absurd to say that this is an attack on women. It's a politicization of the thing. They want to use this going into the elections. It is about the freedom guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States that government will make no law with regard to religion or the free exercise thereof. Now, how much clearer does it have to be that these people, the Green family who owns Hobby Lobby, simply see this as a violation of their conscience? Now, remember, too, that they provide all contraception for their employees. It's just these 4 abortifacient-type contraceptives, which are really not contraceptives. They prevent the implantation of the fetus. And that is really what it's about, whether or not they have the right not to provide something that violates their conscience.
Yeah, and what we're seeing all over this country, and I would hope that this case might extend to these people who have lost businesses or under the threat of fine have been forced to throw away their religious convictions if they want to keep their businesses. And I'm talking about bakers, I'm talking about photographers, I'm talking about florists in various parts of the country who have refused on religious grounds to provide their services to gay weddings or gay ceremonies, and one would hope that this would extend to them.
Well, I don't know that this particular ruling will extend to them because it's very narrow. It's about closely held corporations, so it's not small businesses, and it's only about as it pertains to this mandate, this executive order of the president. But it seems to me that the precedent certainly clarifies the importance of religious liberty, and it can be applied. Where it will, I think, first apply will be to the religious nonprofits. What they're saying in this case is that you don't have to be a nonprofit in order to create a religious culture or to express one's religious views. You can be a corporate entity if you're privately held and closely held. So I think I think who will benefit immediately from this would be, I would see as the little sisters of the poor.
That was what I was going to bring up next to you, sir. Absolutely.
But the other things you're talking about are very important, but I think they're going to be argued on a different day.
Yeah, no, most probably. Hopefully, though, this will give some indication of how those arguments might go, just as the Little Sisters of the Poor and the other groups who are similar in nature will find justice based on this decision, if this is any indication, because I think that the one you brought up, the nonprofit, that's an easier one, if you will, than this one was.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, these are explicitly religious organizations, though they may have non-religious employees.
Now, when you hear, I don't know if you heard Hillary Clinton, but
I heard part of it.
Yeah, to go beyond, she talked about when she was Secretary of State, how she would be so concerned about women's issues, and what she sees here is that we're moving towards countries that don't treat women equally. I mean, and again, as you pointed out so correctly, this is about 4 pills that are not birth control in the minds of many, and me included. They are abortion pills, so-called abortion pills, and they operate in that manner. And to demagogue this and twist this and turn this into a war against women, and that we're now treating women like some third world country or Sharia law country would treat women is just beyond the pale to me.
Well, one hopes that that's just so obvious to everybody who's listening to this debate. I mean, there are even people who don't have any sensitivities to abortion and birth control who are saying, well, people should have the right to do what they want with their money, with their corporations, and if we don't like that, either we don't work for them or we don't buy their goods and services. By the way, did you know that Hobby Lobby pays above the minimum wage?
Oh, yes, so much above the minimum wage, absolutely.
You don't hear anybody talk about that.
And Father, let me interrupt you and tell you this also, that Hobby Lobby had the option. In court, the Solicitor General argued for the United States in this case that Hobby Lobby could fall into compliance with the Affordable Care Act if they chose to just forego giving all their employees health insurance, just wipe it all out and don't give them any subsidies for any more to help purchase their own policies. Just forget about it. And Hobby Lobby wouldn't do that. So while you have the left saying, oh my gosh, now they can't get these 4 abortion pills, the same administration that's crying this argued, hey, Hobby Lobby, why don't you just dump all the health insurance and you'll be okay?
And their response was, that would also be against our
religious
principles.
Right. pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Father, I appreciate you spending time with us, and I hope to speak to you again soon, sir.
Thank you. I'd like that.
Thank you, Father Robert Sirico, and let me get this correct now. He's the president. He's the founder of the Acton Institute.
ACTON.
Yes,
There you go.
yes. Thank you very much for correcting me. The
Thank you.
Acton Institute for the Study of Religion and Liberty here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Check it out, and you know, just it's always so comforting to get the perspective of a man of the cloth on something like this after hearing from, you know, everybody but on the other side, everybody making these phony claims, these false claims, these outrageous claims, and thank the Father for coming on with us. All right, folks, we'll be back. You know what's next, right here on the Steve Malzberg Show. It's a little segment we like to call Give Me Five, where we go in depth on a subject, play some sound bites and videos, and I give, you know, my little opinion for whatever it's worth. You know, a couple of cents here, a couple of cents there. What's that, just 2 cents? Okay, on the Steve Malzberg Show.